everyone, to the thousands of young women out there tuning in this morning. Today is a celebration of STEM, but it's also a celebration of you. It's a celebration of some of the coolest technology, the smartest women, and a celebration of life-transforming science and amazing engineering projects. What a great day we have in store. Aisling Hassey from Arup has travelled the world with engineering and has a fantastic story to tell. We're also going to hear from EU Commissioner Mcginnis. Now, I know most schools have probably logged on at this stage. I can't name you all because we'll be here all day, but a quick shout out to Presentation Secondary School in Ballyfahan. I know the girls there took part in the I Wish Twinning Exchange programme. So we're going to be speaking to them a little bit later in the day. Welcome as well to Ursuline Secondary School in Sligo. Hello. Colosh and O'Nagle in Limerick, St. Bridget's Secondary School in Killarney. And I know Quillan O'Donoghue, a past pupil from St. Bridget's, is speaking later today on our I Wish Deloitte mentorship panel. So that'll be something to look forward to. You're going to be blown away by the I Wish programme, which obviously wouldn't happen without the contribution of Deloitte, Arup, Stripe, Dell Technologies, Pepsico, Johnson & Johnson, Ronan Daly German, Stryker, AWS, Merck, and so many more I Wish Circle partners. Thank you all so much. Now, if you haven't already downloaded the app, download it now. On Android, you can search I Wish Event 2022, and on iPhone, just search I Wish. If you don't download the app, you can't complete the survey, and therefore you can't compete to win the prizes. So download, complete the survey, win some prizes. Happy days. Deloitte, our platinum partner, are offering TY internships for 50 students across the day, and there are 10 places available for this session this morning. Your teacher, though, needs to apply through the Teacher Zone tab on the I Wish app. CEO of Stripe, John Collison, is going to be on later in the session, and I hear he's got a big announcement as well, so stay tuned for details on that. Now, over to Nisha and Abby. Tell us, what are you going to be doing for the day, ladies?
So many great prizes up for grabs, such as Fitbits, gifted by Fitbit, Colgate goodie bags, 1 for all vouchers, Fitbits sponsored by Johnson & Johnson, and PepsiCo goodie bags.
We have Amazon vouchers, Irish women's rugby shirts, and Beats headphones sponsored by Vodafone. Harder and CEIA are also giving away some laptops today.
So all you have to do is get interacting with us throughout the day and send in your comments on social media and use the hashtag IWish22.
If a speaker inspired you, or if you just want to give us general feedback about the session,
we will be giving prizes for the best comment.
Our top prizes will be going to anyone who completes the survey and opts in at the end to win a prize. So it's simple. Get out your phones and make sure you have the I Wish app downloaded and complete that survey.
We will be watching you, and check back in with us later.
Thank you so much, girls. That's all very exciting, but now let's come back down to earth for a moment. We are honoured to have on Taoiseach Micheál Martin to open I Wish 2022.
Bháil buchas a go bháil le Caroline, Jillian, Sharon, agus an Iran Mláin a socht cuire a chóirtum Lord to live anuv. I have been delighted to support the work of I Wish over the years. As an initiative and an event, I hope that it is both inspirational and aspirational for all the young women watching today. The interest and growth of I Wish since 2015 proves the interest, involvement and success of girls in STEM. A STEM career is not only rewarding, it is one that helps people, solves problems, and is future-focused, creative, and innovative. The diversity of speakers at I Wish 2022 showcases the expansive role STEM careers play in our society. These speakers include our former President, Mary Robinson, European Union Commissioner, Mairead Mcginnis, Anna Hill, CEO of River Cycleway, Imelda Hurley of Quilta, Brenda Romero of Romero Games, Deputy Ambassador in Washington, Orla Keane, and Mayor of San Francisco, London Breed, amongst others. They will each tell you their own extraordinary stories and show you how STEM has impacted all our lives for the better. Over the past 2 years, each and every one of us has witnessed the positive impact that STEM has on the world around us. It has assisted in the development of vaccines, contact tracing apps and ventilators, and has helped to predict the trajectory of COVID-19. The demand for STEM jobs is increasing exponentially. Yet, despite this, we have a shortage of qualified specialists to fill these positions. Now more than ever, we need more females in STEM. Research shows us that greater gender balance in the workplace provides many benefits. These include different perspectives, increased creativity, better decision-making, and greater innovation. The government continues its commitment to the implementation of the STEM Education Policy Statement 2017 to 2026 under the Department of Education. It acknowledges the need to increase the uptake of STEM subjects and to enhance STEM learning for those of all backgrounds, abilities and gender, with a particular focus on uptake by females. The department is currently consulting in relation to the development of a new implementation plan for STEM education to 2026. Participation in informal STEM events such as iWish can help our students on their STEM education journey. Indeed, Caroline is a member of the Department of Education's Gender Balance in STEM Advisory Group. With the expertise that she brings from iWish, she's been a key contributor in drafting recommendations on gender balance in STEM education, which will inform the policy going forward. Statistics from the 2021 iWish survey show key areas that we need to address. While 87% of girls agreed that STEM is a growing area of opportunity, 77% of girls lack confidence in their ability in STEM subjects. 81% of girls say they would like to know more about STEM or STEM careers, but 78% of girls see lack of STEM subject choices in their school as a barrier to a career in STEM. We must work to inspire and encourage you, the next generation of young women, to pursue STEM education and careers. We must ensure that there are female role models, like the exceptional women who will speak to you today, available to all our young students. We need to make sure that STEM is visible and accessible to all our learners, and that in particular our female students can see the path to successful STEM careers. The work of organisations like iWish are critically important to ensure that this becomes a reality. I am passionate about education, and I'm very clear about the hugely positive impact that investment in STEM education has had on our society and economy over the decades. It is very important work. I hope that all of you enjoy this event and take inspiration from the women you will hear from. Mulam Gomordiev, Sminiv Ernavantashti, a bhuineann le háibhar etim, agus shiveg raunu garam amachansho, agus leling vorhéal. Agus griam gach ra orav don talchi. God of Mila Mahagwev Galer.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome, Taoiseach. Now, though, it's time to get to the business end of celebrating STEM, and who better to kick things off than Emer Crotty from Google. Emer's going to give us some facts about her life at Google and her journey so far. So do check out Emer's question at the end and submit through the app. You're going to find it under the Student Zone tab.
Hi everyone, I'm Emer and I'm a Senior Site Reliability Engineer with Google. And today I'm going to give you a couple of fast facts about myself and about my job. So fact number 1, I studied computer science at UCC. Fact number 2, my first day of programming was actually my first day at college. I had 0 prior experience with coding. Fact number 3, software engineering is actually incredibly creative and it pays to have an unusual background. For example, I also have a diploma in music, I play the French horn, and a master's in computer animation. Fact number 4, I work at Google Dublin, and Google Dublin is actually the headquarters for Europe, the Middle East and Africa. Fact number 5, 8,000 people work at Google Dublin, making it one of the largest sites outside of the US. Fact number 6, SRE, or Site Reliability Engineering, was founded in Google way back in 2003. Fact number 7, the role of an SRE is to keep Google up and running for you 24/7. Fact number 8, most of the work of an SRE is actually related to understanding how things work and, more importantly, how they break. For example, what happens if our data centers lose power? Would we still be able to keep YouTube up and running for you? Questions like these, unfortunately, aren't actually hypothetical. Fact number 9, the thing that I love about my job is that there's no one background that can train you for that situation. The ability to think through things logically and to cooperate with other people is the only requirement. And it's very interesting to work with people when things do break. Fact number 10 is that there are so many opportunities in tech. For example, I switched teams, I switched roles. I'm now a manager. I'm still working on the technical side of things, but I'm also helping people. I like to think that I'm keeping Google up and running by keeping Googlers up and running. And finally, my question for you, grab your iWish app. Where is Google's headquarters for Europe, the Middle East, and Africa?
Thank you, Emer. We'll link back into the poll results a little bit later on. Now, remember to keep those comments coming in on social media. We've got some great prizes up for grabs today. And we'll check back in with Nisha and Abby shortly. But first, I'm delighted to introduce our next speaker, Jillian Keating. Jillian is one of the co-founders of iWish. She's an absolute legend. And check out the jacket. If I say any more, I'll be in trouble. So here she is. Over to you, Jillian.
Well, you have been through some crazy times these last 2 years. We all have. But we've learned some important stuff about ourselves along the way, like the fact that you can withstand some of life's toughest experiences, and that whether you realize it or not, you have shaped the technologies of the future. With the dawn of COVID, you faced down the threat of isolation. You found virtual gathering apps, hosted online events, went to Zoom parties, and attended VR chat rooms. In short, you found new ways to relate to each other. You created new entertainment opportunities and explored and conquered a new way of learning. Under your watch, social interaction triumphed over isolation. And all facilitated by technology. VR Chat was one of those online places where you could go to forget about the world, relax with friends, and maybe even find love. Joe Hunting's film, We Met in Virtual Reality, illustrates the experience in a pretty cool way.
But I want you to know, even if you can't see your real life family, you have a family here, okay?
One of the key voices we follow in the film is Jenny, an American Sign Language teacher in the Helping Hands community.
We can come together and support each other through our community, whether it's Helping Hands or anything.
The film is not so interested in technology, but more so in the ways in which we find belonging, support, and community today.
Technology is all about innovation, creating and developing ways to improve people's lives. And I get a sense that we are at the cusp of something truly disruptive. A new way of living and sharing life experiences. The Metaverse. I'm sure you've heard about it. It's the place that will allow us to express ourselves in a whole new way. We will, for the first time, feel physically present in a virtual space. And perhaps feel sufficiently empowered to right some of the wrongs we see all around us.
Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Hi, Mark. What's up, Mark?
Whoa, we're floating in space? Who made this place? It's awesome.
Right? It's from a crater I met in LA.
This place is amazing.
Boz, is that you?
Of course it's me. You know I had to be the robot, man.
I thought I was supposed to be the robot.
Whoa.
I knew you were bluffing.
Hey, wait. Where is Naomi?
Let's call her.
Naomi.
Hey, should we deal you in?
Sorry, I'm running late, but you've got to see what we're checking out. There's an artist going around Soho hiding AR pieces for people to find.
3D street art? That's cool.
Send that link over so we can all look at it. This is stunning. Okay, that is something.
That's awesome.
It will be a place where we will be able to seamlessly bring ourselves and all our stuff from fashion to art with us from platform to platform. We will be buying digital makeup and digital homes. Our physical and virtual worlds will start to blur. In just 4 years' time, a quarter of us will be spending at least an hour a day in the metaverse. But there's a problem. As Time magazine observed, the positive and negative effects of technology that we have seen over the last few years were born out of decisions made by a few guys in Silicon Valley, California. The internet was supposed to be decentralized, yet today arguably it's owned by 4 white men. There is a pushback now to bring the ownership of this next stage of the internet into the hands of a more diverse group, and you can be a part of this. They dream of an open metaverse in which online spaces are owned collectively, in which every person owns their data and can reap the profit of their online creations without corporate middlemen. If you are going to live in a hybrid physical virtual world, you should decide whether you will work for it or make it work for you and those that need you to deliver change. You see, technology is a language. If you don't speak it, you will be silenced. If you are not part of it, you will have no say in how it affects your life in the future. Now is your time to influence what the next stage of this hybrid world will look like, who will control it, and how you can make it work for good. Women like you need to be a part of a conversation that is considering how technology, through this world or a virtual one, can deliver solutions to real-world problems, like climate change. Women are the shock absorbers of climate change. Climate change impacts women disproportionately. Climate change hits their livelihoods, food security, and education. Yet the decisions about how to tackle it have been made mainly by men. Remember, we cannot simply buy a new planet on Metaverse. The question posed then is, in the face of undeniable climate risks, will tech leaders, billionaires, politicians, you and I, take the steps needed to avoid the worst? Or will we simply succumb to the allure of an illusion being sold to us that there is an alternative reality where our problems simply don't exist? I believe every girl can do better than that. As you consider your answer, recall the words of a great American writer, Joan Didion. I'm not telling you to make the world better, because I don't think progress is necessarily part of the package. I am just telling you to live in it, not just to endure it, not just to suffer it, not just to pass through it, but to live in it, to look at it, to try to get the picture, to live recklessly, to take chances, to make your own work and take pride in it, to seize the moment.
I love that. Seize the moment indeed. I've no doubt you're inspired by Jillian. And if you were, do send in your comments. Remember to use the hashtag IWish2022 if you want to win some amazing prizes. Now, encouraging all of you to consider entrepreneurship as a career has always been a central part of IWish. And who better to learn about the entrepreneurial journey from than the one and only John Collison, CEO of Stripe.
Hey IWish, I'm John Collison, I'm the president and co-founder of Stripe, and I just want to say thanks a million for inviting me to be part of your event this year. We're all here because we have a shared goal to help motivate and inspire more young women to pursue careers in STEM. That's something that's very important to me and very important to Stripe.
What is Stripe?
Stripe is a company that builds payments infrastructure. So oftentimes, probably when you go to buy something online, it'll be Stripe behind the scenes making the whole thing work. So we make software to make it easy for internet businesses to accept payments from their customers all around the world and to manage their business online. So we employ 7,000 people around the world, including 500 right here in Ireland, and we're lucky enough to be helping millions of online businesses to grow. I grew up in a village called Drumineer, just outside of Neenah in County Tipperary. I have 2 brothers, Patrick and Tommy. I'm the long-suffering middle child.
Worst thing about being the middle child?
All the hand-me-downs. And then after primary school in Neenah, we went to secondary school in Castletroy, just outside of Limerick.
Limerick versus Tip?
Can't say. They're both great. And then both my parents are, they trained as scientists. My mum trained as a microbiologist and my dad as an electrical engineer. And so we're kind of always interested in, science and engineering things growing up. Our dad would be taking us out at night if there was like an interesting comet to be spotted that we had to wait up for. In addition to kind of the science background, both of our parents ran businesses. At various stages. And so, I think it's the kind of thing where you don't realize maybe it's an influence at the time, but, when we were kids, we would play at running a business, when other people would be playing at, being firemen or being astronauts or something. We had a little kind of toy business that we were playing just as, as kids in the garden. And so, maybe it infused more deeply than we might realize.
How old is Stripe?
My brother Patrick and I, we started Stripe back in 2009. We actually wrote the first lines of Stripe's code in cafes in Argentina, believe it or not.
How old are you?
I'm old, I'm 31, which, probably feels truly ancient to everyone watching, but I still get excited. I'm still jumping out of bed in the morning because, learning how to code and kind of getting access to the internet opened up a whole world of opportunity for me, and I still love solving problems and getting into the thick of all this stuff, and that's what I get excited by, the fact that many, many more people out there, still have the opportunity to do this, and that's why as well, I'm delighted for the new Stripe program with I Wish. These are combining a bunch of the things that I really enjoy, coding and entrepreneurship, and I hope many of you getting involved will want to experiment and develop your business ideas, and hopefully we'll see the next Stripe come out of this.
Who should learn to code?
If you enjoy maths and if you enjoy problem solving and if you think this is the kind of thing that you would be into, you should really check out software engineering as, what you go to study, in that I think many people don't realize how good they would be at it and, how fun they would find it until they have a crack at it. And you should in particular check out the new immersive software engineering program, which is launching in UL this year. It's the very first year that it happens, and they already have 50 companies like Stripe partnered up with them as kind of placements for the course. But really would encourage you, if you're into maths, if you're into problem solving, that kind of thing, to take a dabble on the coding side.
Was Stripe your first company?
No, it's a long, complex history, but basically we previously had a company called Shoppa, that was going to be an online marketplace, and then it ended up pivoting to be kind of more software tools, all very complex and kind of boring. But the best thing to come out of it was that when we were running this previous startup, we said, God, really hard to accept payments. Why is it so painful, to move money online? And so basically the previous startup that we had, Shoppa, gave us the idea for Stripe because we saw how broken payments was on the internet.
Cobble to Edukoni Anish.
Tommy Mahoney in Erin, August, California.
Any advice for the I Wish generation?
I really hope people just take the plunge, and that no one's going to give you permission to do this. No one's going to tell you, that you're ready. But if you kind of follow what you're interested in, and if you follow your hunch, it can often lead to pretty interesting places. It did for me, at least.
Don't you just love his energy, though? Thanks so much for that, John. And wow, a brand new Stripe I Wish entrepreneurship program. That sounds absolutely incredible. So remember to visit the I Wish app to register your interest if your school is going to be involved. That's how you do it. You just get the details. They're available on iwish.ie right now. Let's revisit the poll results from Emer at Google and see if you were right. Emer asked you, where is Google's headquarters for EMA? Well, let's see what you said. Some of you said Europe, some said Africa, but of course, lads, the answer was Dublin. Our next speaker, though, is Nikki Daly, an Irish international hockey player. Nikki was secured through our platinum partner Deloitte, who are proud partners of the Olympic Federation of Ireland. Interestingly, Nikki is also a mechanical engineer and a motorsport enthusiast who has recently established her own female racing team called Formula Female. I love it. Let's hear her story.
Hi everyone, my name is Nikki Daly. I'm a Tokyo 2020 Olympian and World Cup silver medalist, and I'm also a motorsport engineer. I'm delighted to be here today at the I Wish virtual event to tell you a little bit about my journey through STEM. Even though most people know me as a hockey player, I suppose my journey into STEM wasn't as straightforward as you might think. In school, I was not hugely academic. I didn't really enjoy school a huge amount. And I remember going into the career guidance counsellor to get advice on where I should study for third level education, And I remembered it just being a big X through engineering. And so it kind of pushed me away from those subjects for leaving cert. And when I left school, I didn't really have any great ambitions to go on to third level education. And thankfully, in a weird way, something happened with my CAO form, and I ended up falling into engineering. And so from literally week one, going into the labs, I realized that actually engineering was exactly where I wanted to be. I loved the fact that it was hands-on and that I could apply all of the different subjects that I was learning in school to something that was, real-world applications. And from this, I ended up studying a master's in motorsport engineering. So motorsport is a huge passion of mine. I grew up in a motor racing family. My dad was a racing driver. My uncle made it all the way to Formula One. And so it was a natural progression for me to go from engineering into motorsport engineering. And this took me to work as a data engineer for a racing team in the United States. And I got to travel all over the country working on basically understanding the performance of the car through different sensors that looked at how the car's movements, how the driver uses different inputs such as steering, braking, and accelerating. And I was able to travel all over America, learning about how it is to work within a different team and how engineering is actually applied to a sport like motorsport. And I had such an amazing time. And during my time studying and also working in the sport, I realized there was quite a disappointing number of women actually participating on and off the track. And for me, I had such a positive experience. Like, I loved working in the sport, getting to experience, new cities, new places, new environments, and working in such a high, fast-paced sport like motorsport. So that when I came back to Ireland, I felt like I wanted to share my story and be able to open this sport up to more young girls who maybe didn't have the knowledge or the background in the sport that I had. And so I set up an initiative called Formula Female. And from there, I created what was called the Go Girls Karting and STEM initiative. And this is designed to drive active participation in the sport and also visibility of current female role models that are in the sport today. The Go Girls initiative is basically we bring schoolgirls aged 13 to 16 out to the local go-kart tracks. They perform STEM workshops, so understanding how science, technology, engineering and maths actually play a role within motorsport, and also the different career opportunities that are available. So it's not just about the driver. There's actually a whole team of people that go into making a racing team successful. And through this program, we hope to be able to give the opportunity, that first experience opportunity, to as many young girls all over the country as possible, to give them an insight into the sport and to, show that this is a sport for girls and women, and that there's many different roles within it. And studying certain subjects in school can actually help them with a career in engineering in a sport like motorsport. So the Go Girls initiative, we've been running it for the past 2.5 years, and it's great. For me, the most rewarding part is when girls come up at the end of the day and they say that was one of the coolest things I've ever done. They've never experienced anything like it before. And for me, it's about just, giving them the opportunity to experience something new and to have maybe their eyes open to something that they've never had the opportunity to experience before. So that's a little bit about my background and my journey through STEM. I think for me, it wasn't that I was hugely academic, and a lot of people might think that you have to be hugely academic to end up in a STEM career, but you don't. I think you just need to find something that you have an interest in. And if you have a passion for something, I like the fact that you can mix engineering or STEM with a sport, and sport has always been a passion for me. And so it's been a thrilling journey so far in motorsport, and I'm excited to see what's next. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the Irish event.
Thank you so much for that, Nikki. A really interesting story. And I love that you said you was an academic in school, because that will appeal and resonate with so many people today, I'm sure. But keep sending in your feedback using hashtag #IWish22. Now, speaking of social media, let's see what's going on over at the social media hub with Anisha and Abby. Ladies, what's happening on Twitter?
There's so many great comments coming in. Like IWish said, thank you to An Taoiseach Micheál Martin, who officially opened the IWish 2022 event.
Yeah, that's amazing. So exciting to see all the comments coming in. So keep them coming.
We can see that you're busy completing the survey. So let's give away a survey winner prize. Nisha, do we have a name of the winner?
We actually do, Abby. The winner of the Fitbit is Kelly O'Sullivan of Beara Community College. Well done, Kelly. And Abby, do you have something to give away?
Yes, I do. Take a look at all the stuff in the Colgate goodie bags. And the winner is Amy McCarthy from St. Aloysius College in Carrigtwohill.
And girls, make sure you watch out for Nicola and Vodafone coming shortly, and send us in your comments. We're giving away an Irish women's rugby shirt. How cool is that? Sponsored by Vodafone.
And we will check back in with you shortly.
We will indeed. Thanks so much for that, girls. Giving prizes away already, lads. Only what time in the morning? But anyway, keep them coming in, keep the feedback coming. Next up, though, we have Nicola Kiley, a visual designer on the Vodafone digital team, who's going to give you all some top tips.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicola and I'm a visual designer in Vodafone, and today I'm just going to tell you some facts about myself and my job. So fact number 1 is that I studied music, media and performance technology in the University of Limerick, where I graduated in 2019. Fact number 2 is that I chose this course because in my transition year work experience I looked at both radio and graphic design, and I tried them both out, but I just couldn't pick a favourite, so I wanted to choose a course that incorporated a bit of both. Fact number 3 is that while I chose this course to go work in radio and media, I actually fell in love with the aspect of design and technology and how they can work together. So I chose to follow my passion instead for my career path. Fact number 4 is that I'd never done any coding before I went to college, and I really struggled to get my head around it at the start. But I'm proof that if you stick at something and you really like it, that you can work through it. Fact number 5 is that I joined Vodafone on their graduate programme in 2020, and I now work here as a visual designer for our online sales website. This means that I get to work on all the online promotions and new phone launches on Vodafone.ie. Fact number 6 is that on the day that the iPhone 13 launched, the traffic to our Vodafone website increased by over 40%. Fact number 7 is that Vodafone is present in over 30 countries across 5 continents, which just means that there's a huge amount of opportunities for both work and travel. Fact number 8 is that Vodafone has partnered with a sustainable period product subscription service called Riley. This means that Vodafone are providing free period products to all its employees at their head office in Dublin, where I work, and in all their retail stores. Fact number 9 is that design is an ever-evolving skill, and I love working in this field because it means that every day while I'm on the job, I get to pick up new tips and tricks, and so I'm always getting better at my 2 favourite softwares, which are Photoshop and Figma. Fact number 10 is that in my final year in college, I based my final year project around one of my favourite paintings, which is the famous painting Girl with a Pearl Earring by Vermeer. So my question for you today that you can answer in the app is, what is your favourite piece of art?
What is your favourite piece of art? Thanks, Nicola. We'll check out the results of your poll a little bit later. Now, Trailblazer even, Aisling Hassey of Arup is up next. Arup is a premium partner. They've been on the journey with iWish since the very beginning. Aisling herself, though, is passionate about promoting engineering as a career. And in fact, Aisling was a panellist on the first ever iWish Showcase event back in 2015. Let's hear Aisling's story.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aisling Hassey, and I'm delighted to be speaking with you all as part of the iWish initiative this year. iWish is a great opportunity to understand the variety of careers that you can have when studying STEM, and I'm delighted to be able to take you through my journey today. So when I was your age, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had considered becoming a therapist, a scientist, a journalist, a teacher, a psychologist, an artist, and everything else in between. I changed my mind every other day about what I wanted to do, and I really struggled to figure out what I was going to put down on the CAO. I felt like I was interested in a bit of everything, but passionate about nothing in particular. And then when I was trying to make my decision, I started thinking about more, what did I want in a career? So I made up this wish list, and I wanted something that was challenging, a career where I would be learning every day, a job that was loosely or somehow science-based, because in school my favorite subjects were maths and physics. I also wanted to work with people. I really enjoy working as part of a team and interfacing with the public. And I also wanted the opportunity to try out different working environments, whether it be indoors or outdoors, or working with people or in an office setting. I also wanted travel opportunities. I didn't really know where I wanted to be. And I wanted the opportunity to experience the world as part of my job. My work also needed to have a purpose. I wanted to feel like I was contributing to society and to the world in some way. And I also wanted there to be an aspect of creativity or design to keep me interested and feel like I was scratching that itch as well. So once I'd made my wish list, I started looking at careers that possibly matched up with some or all of these and what I was actually interested in. And I discovered engineering. I knew very little about engineering, but when I did look into it, what I really enjoyed was the idea that you're using science to redesign the world around you. And in particular, I like doing this at scale. So that's why I chose civil engineering in UL. Civil engineers are responsible for the construction and design of bridges, buildings, flood relief schemes, tunnels, railways, and everything else in between that we use on a daily basis. A defining moment as part of my first year, when I started really understanding what engineering was all about, was designing and constructing a bridge that went over a pond in UL. And that really helped me understand how you take a design that might exist on a computer and how that looks, how you can make that into the real world. When I graduated, I decided I wanted to specialize in structural engineering, particularly for buildings. For me, structural engineering is the perfect union of, science and art and architecture. When you think about any landmark building or tourist attraction building, structural engineers have been involved in the design of all of those. These structures, they're part of a city or a country's history and landscape. And I really enjoyed feeling like that you were making a mark on a part of a city or a country. As well as that, I really enjoyed the idea that you can use structural engineering to help people. So in countries or cities or regions where they have been struck by disaster, either earthquakes or storms or conflict like war, structural engineers are involved in the reconstruction and the retrofit of bridges and buildings to make sure that they're safe for people to go back into. And this is key to ensure that, people have access to their basic human needs. I was involved in a project recently which touched on this. It's called the Peru Reconstruction Project. So in 2017, 74 schools, which were approximately 750 buildings, were damaged during a storm event. So as part of the structural team, I was involved in designing the reconstruction and retrofit of the 74 schools across Peru, which is an amazing legacy project for any country to have. In its first year of completion, it will impact the lives of 47,000 students, and this will continue to grow as more and more students grow up in this region. So for me, this was a really defining project in, understanding how engineering is really a compassionate career, that you're changing or helping to change the lives of people through your work. So you're probably wondering in these events, why do we care if there isn't enough women in STEM? At the minute, 73% of women are more likely to be injured in a car crash than men. 6 in 10 Irish women don't feel safe taking the bus at night. The average office temperatures are designed for the average male at rest, which is approximately 3 degrees colder than for female resting temperatures. Musical instruments are designed for the average male body proportions, and as a result, musicians such as female pianists are 50% more likely to suffer pain and injury when playing. Your smartphone is designed for the average male size hand, and 57% of women are impacted by ill-fitting PPE at work, such as stab vests and safety harnesses. So this is why we need you as designers, because it is clear that the world around us at the minute is not designed for women. So As part of my career journey, I've learned a couple of things. If you're not passionate, you can be curious. You need to leave your comfort zone in order to grow. And no one is born an engineer or a scientist. Everyone here today, you'll have learned way more than I understood about engineering at your age. And I would just like to finish on, every year in ARP, we have a TY program. And if you would like to find out more, you can email us at typrogram@arp.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Aisling. My mind is blown from some of those facts there, seriously, but it was a great story and we really appreciate your time. And as well, congratulations on your recent award as Engineer of the Year, Aisling. Now, let's see what you said in reply to Nicola from Vodafone's question. Nicola asked, what's your favourite piece of art? Some of you said sunflowers, some said Starry Night, and some said the Mona Lisa. So great feedback there. Thanks, guys. Keep it coming. Now, next up, we have Emma Keys from Irish Water. Emma is an environmental scientist who studied at Trinity College Dublin, and she's going to give us an insight into her career.
Hi everyone, how are you? My name is Emma Keys and I'm an environmental scientist working with Irish Water in the project communications team. So quick background about me, I'm from Tullamore in County Offaly. I went to secondary school here in Tullamore to the Sacred Heart School. I suppose from school I suppose I had a keen interest in science and biology, chemistry. I initially started out as a physiotherapist. I completed 1 year of studies, but it wasn't for me. So I suppose I took a year out and then went back to Trinity College and studied general science. I suppose did first and second year general science. I took a keen interest in all things, I suppose, as I said, biology and the environment. So I ended up specialising as an environmental scientist for my third and fourth years. From there, I suppose joined Irish Water in the summer of 2017 as a summer intern. I loved it there. It was great. I suppose didn't know much about Irish Water at the time. So I suppose for any of you who don't know, Irish Water are, I suppose, the national utility for delivering water and wastewater services throughout Ireland. I suppose from my summer internship, I suppose joined their graduate program, which is a 2-year program for anyone who's just left college. I suppose I completed that for 2 years. I kind of got a flavour for different teams and jobs throughout Irish Water. We had 3 rotations. So yeah, really loved that. It gave me great insight into the world of, I suppose, engineering, science, water, wastewater. So I suppose from after the graduate program, I was very lucky to, I suppose, stay with Irish Water and I joined their project communications team. So this is what my day-to-day role involves as a project communications advisor. It is, I suppose, we're out meeting members of the public, be it elected representatives, councillors, TDs, businesses, members of the public, telling them about our projects, what we're doing, the benefits of those works, and I suppose why we're doing it. So yeah, I really enjoy my role. I suppose communications wasn't something that I particularly had my eyes set on in college, but I suppose my current role really blends, I suppose, the science and engineering aspect of Irish Water, while also, I suppose, simplifying it and presenting it to the public in an easily understood manner. So yeah, I really enjoy my job. I work with engineers on a day-to-day basis. My team are predominantly environmental scientists as well, so it's great to, I suppose, blend different, I suppose, ways of working and ways of thinking. So yeah, it's a great place to work. Really enjoying it. So yep, sure, I'll leave it there. I suppose for my question, if you want to take out your iWish app and you can submit your answer there. I suppose, how much drinking water do you think is processed in Ireland every day?
Right, we'll figure out that answer a little bit later on. We'll check back in. Now, though, it's time to see what Nisha and Abby have got for us. Any comments? You know, I'm sure there's loads at this stage. Any prizes?
There's so many great comments coming in here, such as I wish said thank you to Emer Crotty for telling us a bit about our journey in STEM. And the winner of the women's rugby shirt, sponsored by Vodafone, is Camille McCormack from Colossaculum in Ballincollig, Cork.
Also, well done to Holly Furlong, Presentation Secondary School, Waterford. A Fitbit is coming your way.
Let's check out those poll results. Emma Keys from Irish Water asked this question: how much drinking water is processed in Ireland every day? Nisha, What do you think the answer is?
Oh, God, Abby, I have no idea. I couldn't even guess it. But actually, I do know what the answer is. It's 1.7 billion litres of water is processed every day. Like, isn't that just amazing? Abby, do we have one more winner to announce?
Yes. The best comment goes to Claire Lyons from Colossaculum in Ballincollig. An Amazon gift voucher will be coming your way. Check back in with us again shortly.
Lads, the gang in Ballincollig and Colossaculum are going to be delighted. They're after winning loads of things. And I lived near there, so thanks. I had nothing to do with it, I would like to point out. Anyway, I'm going to put my feet up here, grab a Pepsi, and hand the reins over now to Catherine Hughes, who's going to be chatting to the young women at Pepsico. Pepsico are a premium partner of iWish and have been on the iWish journey since the very beginning. This panel is all about making an impact. So, Catherine, it's over to you.
Thank you very much. And hello, everyone. Delighted to be here with you this morning. And I'm joined with three outstanding females from Pepsico. Pepsico's product portfolio includes many iconic brands that we're all far too familiar with, including Lay's, Doritos, Gatorade, Pepsi Cola and SodaStream. They're one of our premium partners and have been ambassadors of iWish from the very beginning. So we're delighted to have Emer, Clodagh and Niamh here today to tell us more about the range of STEM careers within the company. Girls, would love to hear more about your careers today. And I think if we can start with you, Emer, if we could rewind to 15, 16-year-old you, tell us about the subjects that you started with in choosing your subjects for leaving cert, college, and how you landed in PepsiCo today.
Sure. So my journey from 16-year-old Emer to today is a very colourful one with many twists and turns. And much like today, actually, my 15-year-old self had no clue what I wanted to be when I grew up. And for this reason, I consciously chose a broad kind of range of subjects to keep as many doors open as possible. So I selected French, geography, because I really enjoyed it, and then economics and biology to keep the business and science doors open. And my CAO equally was a very diverse list of options. But I ended up doing an arts degree in NUI Galway, majoring in economics and geography. After that, still wasn't really sure where to go next, and I kind of fell prey to my parents' influence, who were really kind of gung-ho on getting a solid pensionable job. So I did a HDip in education in UCD and became a secondary school teacher for a few years. I started to get itchy feet after a while and moved to Australia in 2012, and that kind of opened a few new doors for me in terms of career. And by pure chance, I got a job in a major engineering firm over in Melbourne. And I became a change analyst or a change practitioner in that organisation. So complete departure from secondary school teaching. This opened a brand new arena for me in terms of possibilities and career. And after 5 years in Melbourne, I moved back to Dublin and I worked for PwC in change management consulting, spending most of my time with ESB actually on assignment there. For personal reasons, then County Cork came calling and I got the opportunity to work in change in PepsiCo. And then again, another twist came in the journey and I got the opportunity to take a completely new departure again into the world of supply chain, working for PepsiCo in Cork. And that's where I am today.
Fantastic. Lots of twists and turns already. What about yourself, Niamh?
Hi, everyone. So flashing back to 15, 16-year-old Niamh, my favourite subject was science, for sure. I quite enjoyed the practical element of doing the experiments from junior cert. So decided to go on and do biology and chemistry together with business studies and German, with the idea of keeping my subject options open. Around this time, I also started developing an interest in nutrition and sport, having started playing rugby in my 5th year. My first taster of the working world was through my TY work experience. I did 1 week working with a vet and another week working at a local food company. I quickly discovered that the vet option wasn't the best fit for me, having nearly fainted in one of the surgeries. With this, I decided to put down food science on my CAO, as was a balance of nutrition, food manufacture, and the food business, suiting my interests. I was then lucky enough to secure an internship with PepsiCo in my 3rd year of my food science degree at UCC. And it opened up the door to where I am now as an R&D scientist.
Fantastic. And sometimes it's as important to figure out what you don't want to do before you do what you do. What about yourself, Clodagh?
Hi, everyone. So I studied physics, biology, business and German for my leaving cert, heavily influenced by my parents,
particularly my dad, who's an engineer. So he thought that might be a good road for me to go down. However, I ended up doing commerce in UCC with the aim of going into HR. Quickly realised HR wasn't for me, so took up a role in facilities management, where I worked for a couple of years. And while I was working there, I really understood the value that IT solutions could provide to organisations. So took the leap and went back and did a master's in information systems for business performance. And now I've been working in IT for the last 4 years, 2 of them which have been in Pepsico.
Fantastic. I think we can all relate to the many twists and turns that we take and the heavy family influence in deciding what we're set out to do. What I love is PepsiCo offers such a diverse range of careers. So let's bring those to life a little today. So we've got IT, supply chain and R&D. Emer, bring supply chain to life for us a little. What does an average day look like and what exciting projects are you working on?
Well, everyone, let me tell you, a day in the life of a supply chain manager is a very hard one to pin down because every day is so varied and really different. If I talk about projects to bring it to life, one exciting project I get to work on is the SodaStream business, which is one of PepsiCo's major brands. In Cork, we manufacture the concentrate that goes into the final flavours for PepsiCo SodaStream products. And my team are responsible for processing the orders that the bottlers send through to us for that manufacture. So we send that signal then through to our planning team and then it ultimately gets manufactured. We're also responsible for physically shipping the product then out the door. So it sounds straightforward, right? But it's not a smooth path. And on any given day, I could be dealing with somebody in R&D about, new innovations coming through for SodaStream, or the quality team if there's a QC issue, finance team on getting invoicing correct and pricing correct, and even the IT team on making sure all our data is lined up and correct as well. So lots of different touch points with various people within the business. But I think the most important stakeholder in our group is definitely the customer, and that would be our bottlers. So with that, we get loads of opportunity to kind of speak to external people, travel actually to meet them at their facilities, be that in North America, in Europe, or in the EMEA region. And actually one of the last trips we got to take prior to the pandemic was to Tel Aviv to visit our SodaStream partners there. So not only is it an exciting role, but also the opportunity to see many parts of the world as well.
Wow, you really brought supply chain to life there. No day is the same at all. Niamh, let's take us into the R&D side of things. What does a week look like and what are you working on?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a research and development scientist working in our R&D centre in Cork. I work on the European packaging lab team. My typical week is a blend of working on site in the lab and working from home. In my role, we test new packaging designs and packaging made from recycled or even biodegradable materials to approve them for use in the market. This enables us to keep up with changing consumer demands and offer more sustainable products. In our lab, we test glass and plastic bottles as well as caps and cans to ensure they're safe for consumer use and they're fit for purpose. So for example, if we take a bottle of Pepsi Max, a test we would do in the lab would be to check that the carbonation levels are good across the time to ensure it still, maintains its fizziness for consumers to enjoy when they crack open a bottle. Some of the other brands we work with are 7up, Mountain Dew, Tropicana and Gatorade, to name just a few.
Fantastic. It's amazing to see how much goes into the packaging of these different products. Bring IT to life for us. What does a day, an average week look like?
So I am an IT analyst here in Cork. However, I work with global teams on a daily basis. I could be collaborating with people in China in the morning, and then I could be working with people in North and South America in the afternoon. A really exciting project that we worked on recently was where we utilised augmented reality, where we rolled out RealWear headsets, which are like smart glasses, to some of our sites. This has enabled people to visit the site virtually. It has enabled better problem solving because there's more collaboration across all of our sites now because you don't have to physically visit, and also reduced the requirement for travel. So that's a really cool project I worked on recently.
Fascinating, also diverse. I feel there's so many myths about certain careers. What's one thing you'd love to leave us with today to kind of bust a myth in your profession?
For me, I think the mythbuster would be that you have to fit a certain mold to be successful in a particular area. If I look at PepsiCo, for example, it's an organisation that really values diversity and inclusion, and that means many things to many people. For me, that means kind of diversity of thought. So even though I'm not your typical STEM person, I didn't come from a traditional STEM background, the organisation still sees value in what I can bring and my diverse background can bring to the organisation. So I think that's the mythbuster for me.
Fantastic. And thanks, Niamh.
My myth that I would love to bust today, Katrin, is that working in a lab can sometimes be seen as repetitive or boring. This is definitely not true. One day we could be testing a 100% recycled bottle, and the next we could be 3D printing a new bottle design to share with our marketing team.
Wonderful. And Clodagh?
So I have two myths to bust today. So one is that if you have an office job, it doesn't mean that you're just sitting down at a desk on your own all day. And two, you need to be technical to get into IT. You know, you need to be able to build computers and possibly even code, and possibly maybe a bit geeky from watching certain movies. However, from personal experience, I can confirm that both are complete myths. I collaborate with people all around the world from all different areas of the business on a daily basis. I have never built a computer. I don't know how to code. So my focus is very much on process and communicating with areas of the business to understand their needs. So I think that to wrap up, I think IT can be a place for everybody to work in.
Fascinating. And look, thank you so much for sharing the stories. They're also incredibly diverse, international, and every role involves people. I'll never look at a PepsiCo product again the same on the shelves. There's so much that goes into it. Look, thanks again, and back to you, Sinead.
Thanks, everybody. Much appreciated. I'm the same as you. I won't look at it the same ever again. Now we're actually going to head back to the girls in the social media hub. I say back as if they're all the way over there. I can practically touch you, Nisha. Girls, what's happening?
Well, after a fantastic panel talk from PepsiCo, I think it's only right to announce the winner of the PepsiCo goodie bag. And the winner is Avingo from St. Al's in Carrigtwohill. Nisha, how about you? Do you have a prize winner?
Yep, I do, Abby. A €100 one-for-all voucher sponsored by Johnson & Johnson is going to Shauna Traynor from Loreto College, Mullingar, for completing the survey. Well done, Shauna.
Keep those comments coming in, and we'll be back again at the end of the session to give away more prizes. And there still is time.
There's still plenty of time. Now I'm delighted to introduce you to European Commissioner for Financial Services, Financial Stability and Capital Markets Union, Mcginnis. Mairead happens to be the first ever female graduate at UCD's Bachelor of Science degree in Agricultural Science. And I bet you didn't know that Mairead was once a researcher on RT's Late Show before she got into politics. There you go now. Mairead's varied experience spanning farming to politics shows us all it's okay to change your mind, and that in every career there are twists and turns. But there are building blocks to success as well. Please welcome the European Commissioner, Mairead Mcginnis.
So a big hello to everyone, and I'm really delighted to join you for I Wish 2022. Thank you to co-founders Jillian Keating and Caroline O'Driscoll and director Sharon Lombard for the invitation to be with you. I know that you're committed to ensuring that no girl gets left behind, and that's a really big statement and a very important mission. It's a vital topic that we're talking about today, and what we're focusing on is really important because there's a huge gender imbalance in the science, technology, engineering and maths area, the so-called STEM subjects. Look, I think the word imbalance is an understatement because women represent only 25% of the STEM workforce in Ireland, so it's something we need to change. And I just want to give you some practical examples that illustrates why it's so important that women are involved in science and technology. Now, we all wear seatbelts, but did you know that when the first seatbelt was created, it was modelled to fit men? And men are usually taller than women and children. Their bodies are a different shape. I know I'm stating the obvious here. So in fact, in the beginning, seatbelts, which were created for safety, were not as safe as they should have been for women and children. So it really points to how diversity is important for new breakthroughs, deeper research and new perspectives. So just think, each of you, about the contribution that you could make. And when you're starting to think and imagine what the future might hold, I want you to be brave and to be bold. Don't be afraid to take the unconventional path and to follow your ambitions, your dreams, your hopes, whatever they may be. And maybe a little about my own career. So when I was starting out, I believed that women would make it into all kinds of positions. In the 70s and 80s, this topic was on the radar. And back then, I believed that change would just happen because it should happen. Now, unfortunately, I come to realise that the change that I wanted, and so many others, it wouldn't just happen automatically. And in fact, it needed and still needs positive action to drive change. I worked in a number of areas dominated by men, in agriculture, journalism, politics, and now financial services. I'm from Laos. I went to college in UCD, studied agricultural economics. In fact, I was the first female graduate in that subject. And then I later found myself in the world of media and journalism, spending time working in RTE, in research, reporting, producing, on shows like The Late Late and Ear to the Ground. And I also wrote for the Farmers Journal, the Irish Independent, and I broadcast on local radio. And before I tell you about my election journey, I say all those bits so that you understand that, life isn't a straight path and you seize opportunities as they come. So, in 2004, that's 2004, I stood for election for the European Parliament. Not an easy one, but hugely rewarding. And I was in the Parliament up until recently. In 2020, I was appointed Ireland's EU Commissioner, taking on the finance portfolio, or the long title, Commissioner for Financial Services, Financial Stability and Capital Markets Union. I'm the second Irish woman to be appointed Commissioner. The first was Maura Geoghegan-Quinn, who had a very distinguished career in Irish politics as a government minister and an equally distinguished career here in Brussels. What's surprising is that I'm the first woman ever to be appointed to the finance portfolio in the long history of the European Union. I, if you like, look after the financial system here in the European Union. So my work is about making sure that banks stay stable, that companies can get finance for what they need to do, that the system, the financial system, contributes to the fight against climate change, that technology and innovation get rolled out in a safe and secure way. Now, it's a tough portfolio, but hugely rewarding. So I want to talk about this bit, if you like, today, because one of the careers that STEM opens you up to is finance. Now, you may not think that finance is an exciting area right now, because it's all about money. But actually, it's much more than just about money. It's about new technologies and using them in financial services. Now, I think we have all heard of fintech companies, and these are at the cutting edge of innovation and change in finance, using artificial intelligence, instant payment technology, digital cards. These fintechs are transforming the way we interact with and think about finance and money. Now, it's really interesting that only 12% of global fintech founders are women. Only 6% have female CEOs. So the question then is, will their products and services cater as well as they should to the whole of society? Now, it's not just about fintechs, because women are underrepresented at all levels in the financial services system. And that means that finance is missing out. Because the more women are involved in the financial system, the better it works for all. If you look at the World Economic Forum, a big think tank, they found that gender pay in financial services, where women are underrepresented in leadership position, leads to a more unstable financial system. So the impacts are great. And of course, stability is very important, and it's a huge part of my work here in Brussels. So in finance, more women would mean more ideas, more innovation, different ideas, different innovation, and more inclusive financial products. So with that, I hope you enjoy the rest of the programme and leave today feeling encouraged to think about a career in STEM. You're young and you have choices and possibilities that are endless. So whatever academic path you may choose, keep in mind that we need you, brilliant women, in science, technology, engineering and maths. And think about finance. Money makes the world go around. Finance affects everything. And you know, it's not that complex, even if some in the industry try to make it so. So each of you have something unique to contribute to STEM. Get involved and thank you.
Some inspirational words there. Thank you so much to Mairead Mcginnis for taking the time. Now, joining me are three young women from Striker who are going to each give us some fast facts about themselves and their journeys. They'll have a minute and a half on the clock, so we're going to hear from Carlotta Sol Escobar from the R&D Engineering Co-op, Aoife Erner, R&D Engineering graduate at Striker, and finally, Lauren Mitchell, a project manager.
Hello everyone, my name is Carlota, I'm from Spain, and I'm currently doing my co-op in R&D engineering at Striker. So what I do at Striker on a day-to-day involves more kind of like modeling, SolidWorks. I'm on the mechanical side, so that's what I do. I'm also doing some testing for our prototypes, and I'm also involved in research, more in the anatomy and physiology, which I personally love. And then how did I get here? Well, at school, I was always really interested in the maths and science subjects. And I actually discovered engineering while changing some light switches with my dad at home. He told me I'd make a great engineer, and that's how I kind of followed this path. I ended up choosing biomedical engineering for university as I loved medicine, maths, science, and this degree just kind of combined absolutely everything that I loved. While at university, I was studying orthopedic implants, and that just sounded really interesting, the whole mechanical side and biomechanics, which I'm specializing in at university. That's how I found out about Striker, as they have, a huge range of products on that side and more. So here I am. Something that I love about working at Striker is the people. You really feel an incredible culture, and especially as a co-op, that's very beneficial because I'm learning so much. Thank you.
Hi everyone, so my name is Aoife Erner, and I work at Striker as an R&D graduate engineer on the 2021 graduate program. I was always really interested in STEM-based subjects growing up, and I studied subjects such as applied maths, biology, and tech graph in school. I then went on to study biomedical engineering at GMIT, as I felt the more smaller class sizes and practical approach would better suit my learning style. It was here in my first year of college that Striker actually visited our college on a roadshow, and I immediately knew that I wanted to work for them in the future. I was blown away at how passionate they each were about their job, and it really inspired me to want the same level of passion in my future career. I applied for the R&D graduate program, as it allows you to rotate across 4 different departments over 23 months. And this really gives you a real taste of the company as a whole. So I'm currently in my first rotation as an advanced quality engineer, and my day-to-day work involves reviewing other departments' work to ensure that we're compliant with standards, and also risk management, which means ensuring that devices are as safe as possible for our customers. One of my favorite things about working for Striker is the labs. So working with surgeons and with nurses to get their feedback on our devices. I've always wanted a career that's rewarding, and it's really nice knowing that we're making a positive impact on people's lives by working at Striker. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren. I work at Striker in Cork, Ireland, and I'm currently on the Advanced Operations Rotational Development Program, meaning I'll spend 2 years rotating through 4 different teams to get experience on various areas across Striker. My first rotation then was on the business intelligence team, helping to create some of the processes and guidelines that we currently use for project management within the Advanced Operations global team. I'm now working on an engineering team in 3D printing, helping get a product ready for launching to customers. So I'm, going directly to the printers, analyzing the results of the products that we've made. I'm originally from Michigan, and I studied chemical engineering in college, and found out that, through all my classes and stuff, I didn't really want to work in a traditional chemical engineering role, but studying any sort of engineering really opens a ton of possibilities. So after college, I decided to pursue a career in the medical device field instead, because I've always wanted to do something that helps people around the world, and especially, Striker is a huge global company. So even though I had never taken a biomedical course in college, I'm still able to apply everything that I've learned in college up till now to my current role and any role that I take on. I was always interested in science growing up. There were, other things along the way, but I think science was the thing I was focused on. And I originally thought I wanted to be a forensic scientist. But once I started getting into my engineering classes and understanding what engineers really do, I realized that that's what I want to do as a career. And you can do so many different cool things in engineering, like 3D printing, like I'm doing now. And then just finally, a quick fun fact for me, Stryker is a leader in technology in the medical device field, especially with additive. So we have the world's largest additive manufacturing facility for orthopedic implants. So it's a very cool space to be working in now. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much to Carlotta, Aoife and Lauren, 3 young women blazing their own trail through STEM at Stryker. Right now, it's time to check in one last time with Nisha and Abby and hear who won all those prizes.
Another Colgate goodie bag is going to Louise O'Sullivan from Presentation Secondary School in Waterford.
And oh my God, there is so many amazing comments coming through. Like this one here from Kira Murphy. Love this virtual event so far. It's opened up a whole new career path for me. #IWish22. Well, that is absolutely brilliant, Kira. Abby, do you have any?
Yeah, Millie McCarthy said she loved hearing about the different ways to get into STEM from the girls at PepsiCo. #IWish22. Yeah. Also, congratulations to Holly Furlong from Presentation Secondary School, Waterford, for completing the survey. An AWS voucher will be coming your way.
And do we have one more prize to give away, girls?
Yes, this is a big one. Can we get a drum roll?
I think you're going to have to fake it.
Wow, a laptop sponsored by Horner and CIA is going to Mount St. Michael from Ross Carberry in Cork.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Nisha and Abby. Much appreciated. Thanks for all the comments. And thank you as well to the social media team at MDP Smurfit who've been keeping an eye on you all today. Now, remember to keep the comments flowing in throughout the day. And if you're inspired by any of the speakers, you may not be in the next sessions, but your names and posts will still be entered into the other competitions. So if you complete the survey, you can still opt in for more prizes. How good is that? Our final speaker of the day, though, needs no introduction, really. And if I said one, she'd be like our other co-founder of Irish. She'd probably kill me. It is the wonderful Caroline O'Driscoll.
Jobs are changing, and they are changing at a remarkable rate, and all because of STEM. Today you can be a sustainability manager, a podcast producer, a drone operator, a cryptocurrency analyst, and on social media, get this, you can be a chief listening officer, jobs that did not exist 10 years ago. Imagine what the next 10 years will bring for you, but only if you choose to participate. You see, less than 25% of the STEM workforce is female, and COVID-19 has made the STEM poverty gap worse for women. Chances are you won't get to do any of those cool jobs if nothing changes in society. 39% of the global workforce is made up of women, but women accounted for 54% of COVID job losses. Because of COVID, another generation of you will have to wait for gender parity. It is now estimated that it will take another 135 years before the gender gap is closed. That means if we do nothing, you will not see gender parity in your lifetime. Of the 20 fastest growing careers in the world, 15 of them require a background in math or science. So my question to you, if you don't do STEM, what will you do? We need you girls. We need you more than ever before to help solve some of the most fundamental problems this world is facing, from COVID to climate change. We need the best and brightest minds. We need you to participate in the economies of tomorrow, to take your place at the table. So what is holding you back? We asked you. Each year we survey the girls who attend IWish, and we ask you about the barriers to female participation in STEM. Here is what some of your peers wrote. Women think they aren't smart enough to pursue a career in STEM. We don't have the confidence to do it, and we think men could be better at it. In fact, 77% of girls surveyed told us that they are not confident in their ability to do STEM. Yes, 77%. That breaks my heart. To think that right now there's a girl sitting in a classroom thinking that she can't. At IWish, we will not stop until she knows that she can. And I get it. It's not easy standing up or standing out. We have to understand that it's okay to be a red balloon. I'm a red balloon. I'm an accountant with pink hair, and truthfully, I have always struggled with fitting in. She's different, that one. The one with the mad hair. Can I talk to your boss, love? I've heard it all. Recently, I listened to a speech that the actor Denzel Washington gave. He said that nothing is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. He refers to Nelson Mandela, who said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you are capable of living. You have to take chances." And then he offers this gem. How many people have told you to have something to fall back on? I've never understood that concept. If I'm going to fall back, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. At least that way, I'll get to see what I'm going to hit. Take risks. Fall forward. Sometimes that is not easy. So if you're facing a moment of doubt, maybe you're thinking about doing STEM, but you're questioning your confidence, ask yourself this question. What would you do if you weren't afraid? It's a great question. Sometimes in life, you just have to be brave and take a leap of faith. Fall forward. You also told us about the importance of role models. 84% of our survey respondents identified the lack of female role models as a barrier to pursuing careers in STEM. That's why we bring I Wish to you, to showcase amazing women in STEM. One of our speakers here today, Mary Robinson, was a huge inspiration to me growing up. The first female president in Ireland, she truly rocked the system. But not all superheroes wear capes. They are all around us. Here are some of mine. That's me with my mum and some pretty dodgy curtains on my first birthday, and me with my dad on my communion day. I haven't worn a hairband ever since. I am from a working class background. I was the first in every generation of my family to go to university, which was a huge deal at the time. Some people might think I came from nothing, but I think I came from everything. My parents believed I could do anything, and so I did. And here is my present. My daughter Darcy, wearing her NASA sweatshirt that she bought just a month ago. But here's the thing, she nearly didn't buy it because it was in the boy section in the shop. These stereotypes are all around us, and she hesitated for just a moment. I don't think I have ever been as proud as when she marched up to the till and bought it anyway. I am the co-founder of I Wish. I'm a partner in Deloitte. I am someone's daughter, someone's mum, someone's sister, someone's friend. I grew up in an orange and blue bricked bungalow in Ovens, County Cork. It had one bathroom and I shared a room with my two sisters. I am the sum of all those parts. All of it. Channel your history. It is part of who you are. Fall forward. So don't live down to expectation. Don't be a stereotype. Go out there and do something remarkable. Go live your brightest life. I Wish is about three things: choices, chances, and changes. Today you have heard from women who have chosen STEM. There are chances and opportunities if you choose to take them. And I Wish is a catalyst for change, ensuring that no girl gets left behind. So here is my challenge to you. Be your own superhero. Write your own story. Take risks. Fall forward. You can be anything you want to be. Believe it and own it, girl. If not you, then who? If not now, when?
Now, some really inspirational messages there, as ever, from Caroline. And I can't believe we've reached the end of the session already. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. And I hope you learned some more about the power of STEM as well. Now, if you haven't had the chance to complete the survey yet, the I Wish survey, I would encourage you to do so throughout the day. I remember, I said a minute ago, you can still win prizes. So do it. Get on it. Now, we have Caroline here already. Jillian's after coming on into us. Jillian, when IWish started, there was 1,000 girls attending. Now we're up to 17,000. Like, how did that happen? And in such a short space of time as well.
I know, it's mad, isn't it, Sinead? But there's two key drivers, really. First of all, the girls. They kept telling us they wanted to see more of it, how much it influenced them. And of course, that drove us on, because for us, it's all about the girls. And then the second thing is we've had some fantastic partners from the very beginning. In this session, we heard from two of them. We heard from Arup and Pepsico, and they have been such an incredible support and really want to continue their engagement with us, and that's super.
It's great. It's just mad numbers. It's great, and imagine it just keeps growing in the same trajectory. Like, where will we be?
I know.
I don't know.
The world is
we're going to need a bigger room, lads. I don't know what we're going to do. Caroline, you mentioned your daughter Darcy there in your keynote. Like, how important is it to you that what you're doing is influencing her and the next generation?
Yeah, it's kind of mad to think it's 8 years now since we started IWish, and she was just 2 at the time. And as her mum, I just want for her to have that choice to be an engineer or a nurse, to be a ballerina or a computer programmer, to have that choice. And for me, and I said in my keynote, I just want girls to live their brightest life. Our ethos at IWish is choices, chances, changes. And that's incredibly important to us, that every girl gets to have a choice. And that's really what drives us on.
It's so... every year when I'm involved in this, I love it, because for me, you're just like, the things you learn that you didn't know, had I known then, like, the maths isn't that important. It's something I always harp on about, but I just hope everybody's learned as much as I certainly do every time I'm in your company and I work with IWish. Thank you both so much, as ever. And finally, girls, thank you to you as well. And don't forget to visit the IWish website, where there's so much more information about our speakers from today. And don't forget as well to register your interest for the IWish Stripe Entrepreneurship Programme. I mean, that's unbelievable. So that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, there is a world of opportunity out there for you. Make it happen and be the change. Take care.